Oui, yeah, I do believe we're live. So, I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to find ourselves present and considering what are our boundaries, right? It has been a topic of conversation coming up into my mind recently. The fact that we have a great deal of learning, discovery to do when it comes to our own boundaries, especially so as it relates to our energetic fields. I feel like we have a bunch of different boundaries depending on who we're with, where we are, what kind of state we're in, whether we're talking about the physical form, bodies, or about our emotional well being. I had a conversation with Christian yesterday that ended up pushing into the boundaries that I don't like touching. That's Sam, the boundaries we test. Am I about to get a talking to? No, no. I don't think so, at least, Sam. I think you're pretty good when it comes to not crossing my boundaries, for the most part. You know, like I had a conversation with Christian yesterday for like an hour and a bit, hour and 13 minutes, something like that. He called me during the blood moon. It was pretty cool. Your friends were right. I don't know if Nancy is here just yet, but she was right. I did end up getting to see the eclipse. It was a planetary eclipse, not a solar eclipse. All right, and I didn't know that part, but it was cool to see, to watch the moon turn red and then disappear. But disappearing in a way where it doesn't really want to disappear. Like you could still see the light bending around our planet, hitting the moon. All right. And then he calls me. And we have a conversation, kind of like jokingly starting it off with like this whole asking each other, have we wolfed out? Have we become werewolves with the blood moon being full and stuff? I finally made it, lol. Not gonna break that promise. Love you, Oscar. Bless you, friend. It's nice having you here. It's a pleasure seeing your name. Hope that you friends enjoyed your blood moon yesterday. It apparently, I don't know if it was that for you too. Maybe you can let me know. Apparently, it was like stimulating many minds, right? To either show up for patterns that do not serve or show up for patterns that do, right? And the patterns that do not serve, as they are approaching the patterns that do, and this is bias, of course, kind of like shows, illuminates suddenly all of the boundaries that we have, right? And one of my boundaries were tested yesterday. I had to explain myself, you know, and I don't like that particularly, especially as it relates to me and this journey that I'm here to kind of walk. And I can feel you friends being like, what are you about? Maybe I'll tell you. But I don't know if it helps. I might be crossing some of your boundaries in doing so. I think you're pretty good with not crossing my boundaries, for the most part. Huh, yeah. In that infuriating, I'm not touching you kind of way. Exactly. Yeah, I like you, Sam. I like you a lot, dear friend. You're a friend to me in a way that not many people can say they are. Right? And that's one of my boundaries. That if I'm going to call someone a friend, I care about them. And I don't like the word, but I expect them to care about me too. All right? And I care about you, and I know you care about me. And in that way, you aren't crossing any boundaries, at least from my perspective. And in that way, if that's the only boundaries that is to be discussed, I feel Christian also didn't cross any boundaries as it relates to that, right? Like me and him care a lot about each other and about the world. But, and this is where the but comes in, there was a moment last night where, I don't know, maybe we were just like talking past each other. Hey, bro got the best job. I do. I really do have the best job. I get to practice yoga and get paid. I get to sit down and have conversation with people that I love and care about. That's great. I get to make art every day. This is the art I made today, actually. Check this. Look at that. You ever see something like that? Painstakingery. All right, let me show you. I probably still have that thing open. There it is. All right. So slowly but surely cutting small little slivers out of that flower until it looks pretty. Right? And I love it. I love it, bro. I love making pretty things. Makes me happy. It's very much in alignment with my boundaries for what I want to spend my time doing, right? If I die today, leaving a bunch of pretty things behind is good, right? If I died today and I was just making the world a worse place, would be bad, all right? So my boundaries have been set. I shall not waste all of my time. I do waste some of my time, full disclosure, but I don't waste all of my time, right? And I think it's good to have that balance. So, maybe I can share with you what I was going through last night. We ended up talking about the state of the world, right? Especially as it relates to the wars that are going on right now. And there was this sentiment shared that we, all of us, as humanity, is complicit in the murdering of children, right? Because we haven't done something about it, right? It's still happening, so all of us are guilty. And because all of us are guilty of this child murdering, we don't deserve good things. We don't deserve longevity. We don't deserve utopia. We don't deserve, the good of this reality. We deserve the dark. We deserve the desolate. We deserve the void, right? And that is very much not in alignment with my boundaries because I do not believe that, right? I cannot give any of my conscious energy to that as a way of operating. And I would lie if I said it didn't piss me off. I get super touched when people live into this sense of hopelessness, right? Like there were conversations had about, yeah, the world's gonna fall apart and we're going to have to plant our own food in our gardens just to be able to survive and have something to eat. And he's going to hold my ashes and he's gonna laugh at me for being so ignorant and stupid about how harsh and hard the world is. All right? And I didn't fucking stand for any of it. No. No, I didn't. I don't know if I was never mean, at least in the conversation, but I didn't tolerate this, like, sorry for self feeling, right? Victim mentality, oh, woe is reality. I just couldn't. I don't have the capacity, right? It is not in my boundaries of things that I am willing to consider. And then something was said, right, about me being, in so many words, insensitive. The exact words were, I do not let people mourn, right? That I just want to get onto the next good thing of reality. I don't want to take a moment and sit with the bad of reality. I just want to get onto the next good part of reality, all right? And I felt bad for being called out on something like that, right? Because in my mind, it's never helped me to reminisce, to get myself stuck on the stuff that's bad about our lives, right? The stuff that's bad about life has been bad about life since time immemorial, right? Like people have been dying since people have been living, all right? And still here we are, all right? Like he was literally fighting me on the whole love is true philosophy thing, where he was like, no, love is not true. Love is pain. No, no, life is pain. You know, suffering is the status quo. That's the baseline. And I'm like, no, the fuck, it's not. If suffering was true, then none of us would exist, right? If desolation, if going into complete ruin was the truth of reality, then there would be nobody here right now, would there? Right? And the fact that there are 8 billion of us means that, in fact, there are 8 billion reasons to believe that love is true. There are 8 billion people that can remind us of that fact. With their own existence, of course, but also with their words and with their actions. And I've been feeling into it, you know. I can be pretty stubborn. I can be a bodacious bull. Absolutely bodacious. Bodaciously bullish. Yep. And I will break the china. I will break it. Not actual China, the country, the porcelain plates. I'll break it. Right? I'm sorry. I'll say sorry, but things will get broken. I'll throw stuff. Don't you challenge me. I can be the biggest asshole if you want me to be. That whole fractal coming back again. I usually have to boot him Oscar. Just wait a moment. I'm sure he's got something inappropriate queued up. We'll see. Oscar Pretorius in chat. Weirdly enough, we actually had a chat about him just recently. He's already out of jail, right? Kills his own girlfriend, I think. Kills a person. Gets out of jail in less than 4 years or something like that, you know. Must be nice having millions of rand. That's fire. How do you make that? Well, first, I take a photograph of myself. Then I manipulate said photograph in a piece of software called OneLab. Then I take that photograph into my sketchbook, and then I use an eraser, and then I remove the background, and then I remove the parts of the image that I do not want. And then there is just the pixels that remain on a clear background. Yeah, that's how I do it, bro. Those be my steps. And that might sound very simple, and it's not rocket science, but it does take me hours, right? Like one of those pieces takes me about, if I like really rushed it, 2 hours minimum. The way that I usually do it, between 4 and 6 hours. It is a timely process. What are you doing? Oh, there we go. Why do you got a crown saying "to" with a message? I think it's a little badge of honor. There is some sort of XP system that they've built into the YouTube comment section where if you comment, you get a certain amount of XP. If you send me money, you get more XP. And then it's a way to almost like honor the people that are engaging in the stream with a little badge in saying that they're number 1, number 2, and number 3 fans. I think that's the way it works. Yeah. You like it? I wonder. Do you friends like that stuff? Gamifying the comment section a little bit. I am a little bit sleep deprived. I only slept 4 hours and 28 minutes. And I can feel it. Yes, I can feel it. My brain is a little bit laggy-bo-baggy, but I'm here, and I'm happy to be. I also finished, I think, the last of my paperwork. Last of my paperwork got finished last night as well, right? And it's wild how these things work. It's communicating through a series of swishes and flicks or flaps and folds. Yeah, hoops. One of these days I'll know what you're talking about, bro. So I basically spent some time last night after my dad came to me, letting me know he's heading into the city, trying to get my confirmation letter, right? And then I spend the time, takes me about an hour and a half as well to get everything entered in, asks for a bunch of data, right? So much information, right? Like if anybody ever wanted to dox me or sell my information, the US government has the most high fidelity information about me right now. And then I go through the process of actually getting it done. And then I wanted to set up my medical interview for this week. And then I find out that I can't. That the only time I'm allowed to start my medical interview, otherwise they'll literally throw out the results, is after I already have an interview letter. And I can only get an interview letter when the NVC sends a letter to the South African US consulate. And then the South African US consulate has to send me a message. And then upon them sending me a message, I can then book my interview. And then upon having my interview, I can then go and get my medical checkup. Right? I don't know about you, but I am not built that way. Right? All of that is not the way that I am put together. I am a person. I am very person, and that feels very contrived, just like the amount of bureaucracy. But I then spend some time in a state of stress, right? Feeling like, oh no, this is gonna take long. I'm gonna have to like wait weeks. And I even like have the conversation with my language model, like, how long is this gonna take? And they're like, yeah, you're gonna wait weeks. So weeks upon weeks you'll wait. And then I'm like in a bummed out state. I'm like, brah, I don't wanna wait weeks upon weeks. I want this done now. Right now, I want it done. And literally, I'm not even joking, 2 hours and 40 minutes after I finish my DS-160 form, the letter actually gets sent by the South African US consulate, right? And it just feels like this, almost like fever dream, like having a hard time believing that that's actually what's happening. I still do technically need to get my police clearance, and I think that's it. I just need to go to the police station, right? The police station that has my police clearance, their number doesn't work. The number they provide online just doesn't work. Imagine you have a police station, right? And then the police station has a number, like you're trying to call the cops, and the cops number doesn't work. Kind of baffles my mind. I'll have to go and drive through and find out for myself whether or not it is ready. But I don't know when that's going to be. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'll just drive through to find out. I received my SMS from the South African police service. Hey, no. I thought, but I thought wrong. Skibidi bobbidi, boobity scoobity, there we go. So on the 5th of August, my first SMS came through from the South African Police Service, police clearance application for myself and a reference number. And then on the 13th of August, police clearance certification for myself has been finalized. But I don't know where it is. All right, it's just been finalized. And I mean, 13th of August is now a while ago, right? And they haven't, almost a month ago, and they haven't sent me any messages letting me know that it's available for pickup. And I've not been able to call the police station where it's supposed to be. It can be a little bit frustrating. My brain feels a little bit. So yeah, boundaries, right? How about these boundaries that we have, right? How do you feel about bureaucracy? I don't know if it serves me. The amount of waiting on other people. I think that's the thing for me, right? One of my boundaries is a lot of self-actualization and autonomy, where I really enjoy when I want to get something done, I can do so, right? I am very motivated to finish something if it's up to me to do so. I'll not sleep, I'll forget to eat, but I'll get the thing done. And I think because there's so many other cooks in the kitchen, it makes me feel a little antsy, right? And then I had some hard time sleeping last night because of that whole fractal. And then I wake up to find out that everything I was worried about is past. It's done, right? We even shared that line that there is more to be alarmed by than there are things to be harmed by. And as such, we suffer more in mind than we do in actuality. So funny how often that happens. How regularly I have to be reminded that that seems to be the case. Yeah. Chet's dead today. I've shared my piece. Maybe this will be a nice and short stream. I had some fun with you, friends. I thank you for tuning in. This is technically yesterday's piece. This one is the one I posted to Zora today. But I'll show you what it looks like complete. There it be. Hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, I didn't say that. There it is. Chat's dead. I had to go do things with the kid. Are you leaving already? Yeah. That's one of my boundaries, Sam. That if nobody wants to talk to me, I will go and talk to someone else. Let me test this boundary and tell you no. Maybe I can be convinced. I mean, here you are again, right? Like it was. I wonder if it's going to tell me here. Yeah. It was like 10 minutes of me just like talking into the void. Right? It's like I can bear a couple of minutes of talking into the void, but at some point I'm like, all right, the void is starting to stare back at me. Look into the void and the void looks back. This one reminds me of origami. A lot of them do. I like that, Hoopy. It's interesting that you have to talk about origami. I actually had a moment today looking at the two origami dragons that I have that me and Jovan made together. Right, they're on top of my computer. I cleaned my stuff out a little bit, and while I was doing that, I, of course, picked up the little origami dragons. And I was just thinking about that fractal. Like, that's technically the first origami I ever made. Made some dragons. So I feel you on that, Hoopy, sync up and like that as well. I was listening raptly to your story about the convoluted shit you're going through to immigrate here. It is wild, Sam. I guess that's also like a boundary thing, right? Like they're trying to weed out the bad actors, I guess, right? They're definitely not making it easy for the average person to get with it. I'm happy that I'm mostly done though. Technically, I think we're now like officially done. I, of course, didn't now get to head through with my dad, but now I just have to pay the fees, which is how much? I think $245. Here is email. Yeah, $265. Dear, my full name, the U.S. Consulate General in Johannesburg. And literally, this message came through at 2:41 a.m. Jovan's time, my time. I think Jovan's time. So like 8-ish, 9-ish a.m. this morning, right? And like 9 p.m. last night, I was in the process of getting my what's called a DS-160 filled out. So then they send me this morning, right? Dear, my name has received an immigrant visa petition regarding your K1 fiance visa application. In order to proceed with this application, the following actions are required to be fulfilled. And then tells me to fill out my DS-160, which is wild because I literally did that just like a while. I'm not like complaining, just like the synchronicity of them wanting me to do the thing that I had just done. And then it says register and pay $265 and schedule a K1 appointment. So I'm ready. I can do that now. And then when I schedule that appointment, I can go and get my medical interview, which is going to be another $300, excluding all of my vaccines and stuff that they might want me to get. So we still have like $600 or so to pay, and then it should be done. And then it just lets me know the applicant is required to be interviewed within 4 months of recipient of the petition of the U.S. consulate. So 4 months from now, that's like my time zone. I have to do it in the next 4 months. And then it tells me all of the stuff that I need. I need a valid passport, which I already got. I had to like renew my passport as well. Did that. Color photos. I'll have to go and take photos. I'll probably like cut my hair again, like nice and short on the sides, shave my beard and stuff so I look a little bit more presentable. Take some photos. Birth certificate. Got that. Got the actual original. I have my original birth certificate. You need, for some reason, your original birth certificate. Got that. I haven't been married before, so I don't need any of that. Then I need my police clearance certificates from any country where the applicant resided in from the age of 16 for 6 months or longer. Already got my China police clearance. That was also $500, right? But I got that. Military records. I've not been a military man, so don't need that. The I-134 document, which is like tax returns and stuff, got that. Documentation of proof of relationship, got that. Printed proof of payment when I pay that previous fee, will do. And then I need my DS-160 confirmation page, which already is now printed out and in my folder as well. And then they sent me a list of all of the doctors that I'm allowed to go to in order to get my medical checkup. And then we're done. And then we're done with all of the stuff that I can do. I'm super stoked, like beyond belief stoked to be done with this process. I am not a paperwork person. No. A clerk, I did not, I could not be a clerk. I'd lose my mind. I would go postal if I had to be a clerk. The robots have been a great help. The language models, like sincerely, have been an amazing help. Like usually you have to have a agent or something that helps you with this whole process. And that's another, I think, $1,000, another $1,000 on top of all of the fees, just to like have a person hold your hand and walk you through the process. And since we live in the modern age with language models and stuff, I didn't need a person to hold my hand because the computers let us know, bro, there's no place for you there. He's like, I'll try. Let me try. He realized, yeah, I'm sorry, Brotinos. You can lay next to me, yeah. You can chill right there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, chilling. Yeah, chilling. Yeah, chilling, just like that. Yeah. Mm, no, they're not trying to weed out anybody. The Republicans are xenophobic and don't want immigrants of any kind. Yeah, it's true. I happen to have the right skin color, apparently. You know. But on the other hand, will traffic a human to their heart's content if they have the right parts. So they're hypocrites. Oh yeah. 241. This is what a lot of digital clocks read as they sit upon the retail shelving. Step by step it gets done. Little by little we move forward. I'm so happy for you to move here. Thank you, Sam. Me too. Me too. Like many places in the world are going through some growing pains right now. And it's exciting to me to be able to be with the person that I love. Hey, Ronaldo, I do remember you, Mr. AI. Pretend to be AI. Like me and Joe have been connecting so much. Like I ended up kind of unpacking with her some of the stuff that I went through with Christian last night, uh, having a hard time sleeping. And then this morning, I helped her unpack some of the stuff that she was going through as well, with her having a hard time sleeping. And it just felt like this, again, confirmation, Sam, of the way that me and her love one another really does have this genuine, I want to say the word concern, but I don't think concern. We have a word in Afrikaans that's gesorgd. Gesorgd is like being, like, ek is gesorgd oor my plante. I am, let me see if I can Google translate it. What is the Afrikaans word gesorgd in English? It didn't even try. It literally.
The Afrikaans word.
Shut up. Sorry. I'm being mean. Gesorgd. I can hear Sam rolling her eyes at the sound of that word. Gesorgd. Yeah. It's well cared for. I mean, I guess that is what I was trying to say, right? Like the amount of care me and her have for each other. I'm sure. I'm sure there's an English word that is kind of like that. You know, I'm trying to find the word like when you really care about a person and you can feel that care for each other, right? Like it's like a state almost.
Based on your description of a state of mutual care.
I didn't ask cherished, affectionate, supportive. Yeah, why am I having a hard time with that word? It's like the amount of care we both applied, you know, and like the willingness to hear each other out and the understanding we have for one another. Ons is baie gesorgd oor mekaar. It makes me very happy to be so. I'm 76 here now and breezy. Sounds nice. Good temperature. My shaman said to be prepared for less sleep this month. Earth energies, he says. Yeah. It seems that way. Like I woke up by myself this morning, Hoopy, after 4.5 hours of sleep. So it does seem like there's definitely some energies. Huh, Earth? What's up, Earth? Why are you keeping me up? Got stuff to do, huh? Okay. I'll do stuff. I'll make some more art. I like it. I like it. The more awake I am, the more art I make. That's how it works. The fuck is Dutch South Africa? What the fuck is it? The fuck is Dutch South Afrikaans trying to shove two loogie hockey noses into one word? Gesorgd. Ge is like a prefix, I think it's called. So I can say ek het geshower. You can even like use the ge in front of English words and people will understand what you mean, right? It's like I did thing, you know, ek shower. You're in the active process of showering. And then if you're like recalling the past, ek het geshower. Ek het geëet. Ek het gelag. Ek het gegee. I did laugh. I did eat. I did give, all right, zorg is our word for care. So gezorg is like to care for, technically, right? But it's more like a like the way a mama hen like puts her wings over her baby chicks, right? Like a mama hen is gezorgd over her babies, right? And like that encapsulating love is what I felt so clearly last night again, and it was nice. It was nice for us both to feel the support that we want to give each other, right? Like this real uncompromising, unconditional love. Well, call that a healthy marriage, but I don't know that we have a specific word to describe it though. Yeah, it's definitely a healthy marriage, fractals. Like I feel like there has to be a word. It's like my mind wants to use the word, but it like is not coming up with what the word is. It feels like obsessed adjacent, Sam, but it's not obsessed. Like concerned as well. Mm. It's not one of those words. It's like obsessed and concerned adjacent, especially as it relates to like a married couple that really care about one another and want to be there for each other.
It seems like you're looking for a word that describes.
New. I need you to give me a bunch of words, right? Give me a bunch of words. Don't give me sentences. This thing is gonna try and speak in nice. I didn't. Cherish, devoted, maybe devoted, nurturing, attentive. That's the word I was looking for. Attentive. Yeah, attentive. We were so attentive. That's the word I was looking for, Sam. Attentive. Yeah. Being attentive. It's not something that I am very used to. Attentive, devoted, passionate. There we go. Yeah. Attentive. That's the word that my mind was trying to come up with. And again, like, I don't think my parents were unattentive growing up, but they never understood where I'm coming from, right? Like, I was always overreacting or, blowing something out of proportion or, add thing here. And it was always this sense of like, I don't feel like I'm being unreasonable. I don't feel like I am, you know, doing something wrong by feeling the way that I'm feeling. And having someone like that in my life, like Joe, who attends to my spiritual side, to my emotional side, and then literally, the roles reverse. I go to sleep, I wake up to find she's still awake. And then doing the exact same thing for her as well. It just felt like this unfolding, this beautiful unfolding of like, yeah, love is true. What I know is that a marriage has many facets, including companionship, mutual trust, that's a big one, intimacy, and others. Make sure you're keeping all the facets, all aspects in mind when choosing your partner. And it seems like you have. I really do. I don't make this decision lightly, Sam. Like, it's definitely not something that we're jumping to the conclusion of. Me and her have talked about it in length. Like, literally, we were talking about the potential of marriage when she was here the first time, right? And now it's almost like 1 year coming. And we've grown only closer, right? We've grown only more in love. We've grown so much more mindful of each other and even more aware of each other's egos, right? Like, that's something that me and her have really gotten good at as well. Is that, yes, both of us are egos, right? And as egos, we have certain sensitivities. And you can make out ego to be something bad and blame the person for having an egoic response to some stimuli, or you can just be mindful thereof, right? And like again, one way to think of it is like, oh, I'm gonna have to walk on eggshells, but the other one is like, I'm gonna not step on the glass, right? It's like same, but different, right? Nobody likes stepping on glass. Hello, PMT. It's nice having you here, friend. Sending you blessings. Enjoy the reciprociousness. I do. Every second of love that I receive, I double and give it to the next person. Thank you, friends, for joining me. It really was a pleasure having this time. We ended up spending a little bit longer, Sam. You satisfied yet? I'm back. How are you? Hey, Dylan. I'm doing well. You feeling better yet? I remember you telling me that you've been sick a little bit. I hope you've been feeling a little bit less under the weather, that the boundaries of your immune system has kicked the teeth in of whatever bug was perturbing you. All right, just imagine white blood cells curb stomping those germs. Motherfucker. Think you can mess up me? Stomp. Stomping. Who has seen Osmosis Jones? I need to watch Osmosis Jones again. Hey Google, show me Osmosis Jones. My Google is working again. Nice.
Osmosis Jones is a 2001 American live-action/animated buddy cop action comedy film. It tells the story of Frank, a zookeeper who consumes a germ-ridden egg, and the havoc that ensues inside his body. A white blood cell cop named Osmosis Jones, along with a cold pill named Drix, must protect Frank's body from a deadly virus. You can watch or rent Osmosis Jones on Apple TV, Prime Video.
Cool. Whoa. There's a trailer. Maybe this is the way to see. It looks so 2001. Man eats egg. Oh man, I'm kind of cringing. Is this bad? No, it's still fire. That's still fire. That's the Osmosis Jones that I remember. Yeah, I need to watch this movie again. It's so cool. Freaking Osmosis Jones. That movie changed my life, yo. I suddenly became aware that there is things living inside me. I'm better now, thank you. I'm happy to hear that, Dylan. Yeah. Becoming aware of the fact that there are things living inside you. You ever think about that? No? You should. You should think about that sometimes. I feel it helps me be a little bit more mindful of my body. Helps me set certain boundaries, right? Like for instance, it's Monday today, and Mondays I fast, or at least I try. This weekend, I ended up eating some carbs with the family because we had carbs at the dinner table, and I wanted some. I've been doing like keto for 2 weeks straight, and I did get a lot more jacked again, right? Or at least cut. Maybe cut is the right word, right? I did get a lot more cut, but I found myself feeling a little bit wobbly, like I wasn't getting enough serotonin in my brain. And then I did some research, and they were like, "Yeah, actually, sugar does, carbohydrates do allow you to produce a little bit more serotonin, so you end up feeling a little bit baseline better." And I was like, "Okay, checks out." And then I did some research about cycling. So I think I'm going to go back to that fractal love. I'll eat carbohydrates on Saturdays and Sundays. Mondays I fast. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I eat low carb. Right? And I think I've done that before, and it has served me. I do think it's going to be an interesting experiment to run, especially as we're coming up close to me and Jovan being close again. Get good vibes from you. Don't know exactly why. Does why even matter? PMT, like I appreciate you saying that, right? The why might not matter, but the fact that you let me know that you get good vibes from me is appreciated. I do try, like if you want to know a why, I try very hard to bring good vibes into your life. It's very important to me. I believe there are exponential bad vibes out there, right? If you have to like just like have the news feed as a drip in your arm, you'll probably have a bad time all the time, right? And since many people do have the news feed like a drip in their arm, right? I take it as a responsibility to try and bring good vibes into this world. Because if the only vibes that there were the bad ones, then I didn't really have a reason to stick around, for much. And I would like for you to stick around. I do believe the world will only become a better place. I do believe we're going through some growing pains as a species right now, but I don't want you to be convinced, right? Don't believe the world if it's trying to tell you that it's evil. Don't believe it. It's lying to you. You have the good vibes. Like that's the other side of it as well, PMT. That I do believe every single one of us are a mirror to each other. And I painstakingly spend time trying to polish the mirror that is me, right? I try and take good care of myself. I try and be mindful with the information I put into my brain. And then as a result, I reflect back to you all of that work. And then you, in that way, see yourself, right? You can see me, you can, cast judgment onto myself. If you're like, oh, this guy is a pretentious asshole, you might be a little bit pretentiously asshole-ish too, right? And if you're like a good vibed person, then you might see good vibes in me as well. At least that's the way I see it. Know you. All of that to say, know you, PMT. Know you, good vibes. Know you. I'm better now, bless. Hey, Nazar. It's nice seeing you here again. Sending you blessings. And Rigger, what narcissistic gay horseshit. It's funny. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm completely willing to admit that I do have like a twinge of ego, right? Because again, you have to have some to accomplish anything in this life, Rigger. Like you can't do anything if you're just in that state of egolessness, right? Sure, you can become enlightened. You can sit on a mountaintop and just like find contentment in staring out on the sunrises and sunsets, meditating, eating your rice that is gifted to you by the tribes people, for being so monkish. However, right, I'm not going to be able to change the lives of others sitting on mountaintop watching sunrise and sunset. I believe it's a worthy pursuit. I do. But ego, the way that I try to apply it to my life, has allowed me to accomplish the things that I have. All right. And I, at the same time, feel like I still need to accomplish a lot more. Right. And that's the shortfall of ego as well, is that as soon as you start to accomplish things as ego is unsatisfied and wants more. Right. And here we find ourselves, dear friend. Right. Two egos potentially clashing from across the oceans. Intergalactic. I could be an AI rendering right now. I could not be real. And you believing something about me, again, it could just be a reflection of yourself. I'm from Pakistan. My English speaking is weak. Nizar, I'm from South Africa. Technisch is mijn eerste taal Afrikaans. Maar ik heb het geleerd hoe om Engels te praten. Technically, my first language is Afrikaans, but I learned how to speak English. And you being here in this moment, Nazir, is a part of the training. You listening to English as the language, right, as it's communicated, allows you to build vocabulary. Even though you might not necessarily know how to use it right now, you're still getting better at speaking English just by listening to it as well. Osmosis Jones, microbiome is magic carpet ride. Oh yeah. Yeah. Osmosis Jones, when I saw that thing, I didn't think it'd stick. Be one of those movies folks remember down the line, like Shark Tale. Today I learned I was wrong. Yeah, I did. forget a little bit about Shark Tale. Osmosis Jones, I think the reason it made as much of an impact on me, talking about people that make an impact on me. Hey, Zhao. I love you, Zhao. It's nice having you here. Sending you love ins. Hope that you're feeling good. Got some Z's at the very least. Sending you love ins. Yeah, Osmosis Jones made an impact on me as a kid because I was a kid, right? And that was almost like my first foray into understanding that there is stuff going on inside me, right? Because as a body, you're like, oh yeah, I eat food and then I exist or whatever. And then suddenly this movie like went inside the human body, right? And I was like, there's stuff inside my body? What? What do you mean there's stuff inside my body? Right? I thought I was just outside here. I thought I was just this outside stuff. But no, there's all of this inside stuff as well. All right? And then I I became more obsessed, right? I think like that was one of the precursors for my health obsession. 100%. I had to ask my internal dialogues, and they were like, "Yeah, bro, of course, most of course." One of the biggest like driving factors, like thinking about medication, thinking about white blood cells, thinking about diseases, thinking about uh, like infection when it comes to like a pimple, for example, thinking about being a dad to a child, thinking about how that reflects on a child, right? Like there was like a bunch of embarrassment stuff unfolding in that movie too. Thinking about dying, right? Like there were like brushes with mortality as well. Thinking about death as a kid as well. So that movie did kind of do a number on me in the best way, I think. Right? I do like movies that stick with you because a premarital counselor will bring things up you guys might not have considered. I think I might have missed some context. Now I can be here more again. Bless Dylan. Will be a pleasure to have you here, friend. I do want to ask if you guys have considered premarital counseling. You're a good fit for one another, and you can communicate without your ego getting in the way. You should consider it because premarital counseling will bring things up you guys may not have considered. Uh, maybe. Me and Joe are pretty open book, you know. Like we don't hide stuff from each other. I don't think it's a bad idea, Sam, but again, right, like I don't particularly like the idea of other people in my relationship, you know? So maybe. Hey Tiwo, Taiwo, Taiwo, it's nice having you. Sending you blessings, friend. I try to feel like melting, but I don't know what that means. Hoopty hoops, melting is a state of release, right? It's when you find yourself unattached to what it is you think you are, and how that's supposed to apply, right? Like for me, the melting experience becomes one of unity, right? The more I melt, the more one I am, right? It's like, for instance, like an ice cube, right? If you have a big old, let's say like 1 meter by 1 meter ice cube, and you put it on the grass, right? It's gonna take a while. That ice cube is gonna be out there. But slowly but surely it will melt. And the more it melts, the more it will become a part of the earth, right? That will turn to water, and then that water will slowly trickle into the grass as it continues to melt. And the melting experience is like that for me. I'm not necessarily advocating for lack of rigidity, right? I can be pretty rigid. I am, in fact, pretty rigid and high strung as a person. And as a result, I have chosen a name that reminds me to melt, right? To kind of like balance these two extremes of my own beingness, of like that part of me that's rigid and sharp, right? Like a block of ice could be. And then the part of me that is fluid and malleable, like something molten would be. And every single one of us have that as a capacity, right? Like you can reach that with meditation and breath work. You can reach that with some yoga, right? Like the melting experience of like when you push yourself Like maybe you have some tight hamstrings, right? And then you stay in that state where you're like lengthening your hamstring. That's a melting state. And I don't know about you, but when I'm in that state, I am a lot more fluid, all right? My my thoughts are significantly less rigid as well. I end up considering my entire reality, right? Unfolding these layers of myself, right? In the same way, right? Like when a block of ice is rigid and frozen, you can't access the inside of the water, right? You have to wait for the layers to melt before you can get to what's inside. And that's what the melting experience is like for me as well. Like you get to almost like meet yourself, reach deeper inside. You may need extra brain chemicals, Hoop. Could be. I just talk like how many times is true. To be clear, you're being booted because you threw around the word gay like it was a slur, not because you criticized Trigger. It's true. Yeah, here we accept all kinds, right? Using the word gay as a slur is not something that we tolerate. We have friends of all kinds in this space. I'm thinking about my friend Adrian. You know, like I come from a very traditional household, like Orthodox Christian, out in the middle of nowhere on a farm. All right, like the way that people here operate is very much you marry a woman, you have kids. All right, you work job, you retire, you die. All right, like and if you were stepping out of those lines, what's wrong with you? All right, then I am the kind of person that steps out of the lines. You know, I try and do things my way. And then I embraced, you know, like counterculture, to say it in so many words. I met a bunch of college friends. I didn't go to college myself. I was working at the time. But I met these friends and they invited me into their lives and they took me to a festival, you know, a bunch of them. And then one weekend after we returned from the festival, all of us were in the back of a truck, right? Like the truck had one of those mattresses in it. And we were just having some conversations and, you know, like talking about life. And I had close to me, right? Like I was kind of like laying, you know, here's like the wheel arch. I was like sitting up slash laying up against the wheel arch. And this friend was like shoulder to shoulder with me by my side. And then he suddenly looks over at me and he goes, Melt, do you know I'm gay? And I look over at him and I go, no, I didn't know that. Does it matter? I ask him. And he looks back at me and is like, it doesn't matter to me. I was just making sure you're okay, you know, like with him being that close to me. I'm like, yo, bro, as long as you're not trying to touch me inappropriately, you can be gay. Oh, we can be shoulder to shoulder, close. I'm not gonna get cooties. You're not gonna, you know, infect me with your gayness. That's not how it works. And like that was like almost for me like this pivotal moment in my life because again I grew up in a like environment in a culture where being gay is not okay, right? It's not okay to be gay. And then suddenly like seeing experientially, because he was technically the first like openly gay person that I had met in my life, seeing that it doesn't bother me. Like I'm not going to suddenly like rip my arm away from him like, no, don't touch me with your gayness. And it just felt like, yeah, I've been I've been trying, you know, or society, if you will, have been trying to convince me of gay people's evilness, and they failed. Get wrecked. Get wrecked, culture. Can't stop me from loving people. Are you married with kids? No, no, I am not. I am on my way to get married, but kids are still far off. You know, I'll consider having kids when I'm 35, but before then, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to entertain the idea. So there's like still eight-ish years to pass before that's gonna be even a consideration. So yeah, things need to change. Points to stream rule with spanner. Love is true. If it does not abide by our number one rule, it gets removed. Exactly. Yeah. Calling people slurs is not a loving act, right? It's not true. Ek is Afrikaans en Engels. Nice, Dylan. I'm guessing you're living here in South Africa as well. It's nice having you here, Taiwo. Me and Joe are pretty open book, which is precisely why I'm pressing you a little. I know you don't like other people in your relationship. This is just about starting you two out on the same page. I'm again, Sam. I'm not shooting down the idea. I just don't know what that's gonna look like, right? Like me and her going and getting marriage counseling. Like again, this is maybe because of my own personal circumstance, right? The idea of paying someone, and I don't imagine a premarital counselor is cheap, right? Paying someone hundreds of dollars in order to tell me the stuff I already know, or you know, talk with me, with the person I love, about stuff that would be sensitive and personal. It just doesn't click in my brain, right? It's like I'm gonna pay to be uncomfortable. How about no? I'd rather save the money and do something nice for Joe, right? Take her out to dinner, have a conversation instead, kind of thing. Mm, that's just not something we tolerate. It is to keep the stream safe and supportive for everyone, lurkers included. We don't know what people would be struggling with, or when or what we could say that could hurt them. So sometimes I make some cuts here that may seem unnecessary or mean. I'm not trying to be, I'm just looking out for folks. I feel like you weren't in the wrong with that message, right? Like, again, when people say derogatory stuff like that, Sam, I take it again as this opportunity for me to stay calm, for me to remind myself that I am capable of being mindful and even ideally playful when people try and insult me, because like then I disarm them. Right? Like if someone is nice to you after you're mean to them, it's very disarming. And I love disarming people like that. I've done that so many times. So many times it was like almost this close to like a fight breaking out. And then I disarm people, right? I start being nice to the bullies. I start being kind to them. I start complimenting their shoes or something. And then like their whole brains, like they're like, no, I was trying to fist fight you. Why are you being nice to me? And I'm like, because I like it. It's better to be nice than to fist fight, though. All right. And again, I'm terrified of the possibility of like killing a person. I am so strong, you know. You should better be careful. But seriously though, like like you don't know, right? Someone might have an underlying health condition, and then you get into a scuffle, and then you punch them in the wrong place, and then they die. They actually just die, and then I go to jail for manslaughter, and my life as I thought it was is over because I couldn't control myself and my temper, right? So I would rather control myself and then be playful, right? In circumstances where I am made to be angry. I'm not perfect. I am actively getting better. Joe has seen me in a state of, I don't know if I was angry. I wanted to be like, I don't know if I was angry. No, I was angry. So the last day that me and Joe were together here in South Africa, I took her to the botanical gardens, the Johannesburg Botanical Gardens. It's beautiful there, right? And the whole time that we spent together, I captured a bunch of video in order to like make her a little movie of our time together. And then the last day that we had together in this beautiful place, as I tried to enter the space, they tried to tell me that I'm not allowed to film inside. And I was like, what? How the fuck are you? What? You want me to leave my phone here too? Like they wanted me to like deposit my camera with them. And I was like, not. That's not gonna happen. You wanna take my phone too? You wanna freaking search my bags to see if I have any other cameras in it? Like, no. No. All right. And it was like something me and Joe talked about recently. I get angry at injustice, and that felt like an injustice. Like, not a chance, oh. I'm not going to let you step over me. Zach Hunter's here. Kiefer too. Hey friends. It's nice having you. Good morning, hipster dude. I don't know how I feel about that, Zach. Am I a hipster? Hey Google. Define hipster.
A hipster is a person who rejects mainstream culture and favors unconventional fashion, music, and lifestyle choices. The term originated in the 1940s to describe jazz musicians and fans, but became a subculture of young, often middle class, urban adults in the 1990s and 2000s.
Cool. You know, I'll admit that I might have hipster tendencies, but God forbid you calling me one. It's like, what? Stop that. All I need now is the man bun, right? I guess that's also not hipster anymore. Now it's big old handlebar mustaches, or something. I don't even know. All right, you got me. Love is true. Hmm. What if foul language is an integral part of my culture? I sometimes use foul language as well, Hames. I don't think any of us have a problem with the use of foul language. We start having a problem with it when you're directing foul language at a person, right? In order to degrade them or demoralize them or hurt their feelings. That's where we draw the line, right? Because, like, again, cursing can be a form of expression, right? And sometimes saying something softly doesn't have the same impact as saying it with some profanity, right? And I understand that. I can be guilty of that myself. But as soon as you start, using profanity to degrade a person, that's where we'll, step in a little bit. So feel free to be yourself. Are you Australian, Hames? If you're not an Aussie, then profanity is not part of your culture. Sam the Protector. Morning Melters. How's everybody? Doing good, Kiefer. I'm a little bit sleepy. I only got like 4.5 hours of sleep last night, but I'm here and I'm happy to be. How are you doing, friend? MeltMore. I would jump in for you. Thank you, friend. That's nice. I'm sleepy. Sis had a little baby, and now I'm super big sister mode. Protective and loving and kind and wanting to be there for her in every way that you can. You're amazing, Zhao. Thank you for being a good big sister to your little sister. Thanks, man. Much love. Is the little one cute? I mean, cute is relative, bro. I personally don't find newborn babies cute. All right. I think that, I don't know if that's a popular opinion, but to me, they kind of look like half baked. And they are, right? Like a child develops for 18 extra years, like after being born. And like when a child just comes into this world, they just look really rough. Or I'm like, yeah, I know you're gonna grow up. I'm happy that you're not gonna look like that forever. Oh, tried and convited here. No, she's ugly. All right, you got me. No, it's a he. Little Lewin. Lewin? I feel like I'm saying it incorrectly. Lewin. There we go. There it is. Lewin. Little Lewin. Little one is super cute. Yeah. Hamas. I mean, he does kind of have wrinkly old man look. Yeah, exactly. Which is to be expected. He's a baby. All right. Like, I feel like they start being kind of cute like around like 1 year old. Then they've like filled out a little bit and they have the round little cheeks, right? And they have the cognitive looking around and being fascinated with reality. I can kind of like find some cute in that, but like straight newborn, old man look is not far off. Of course, the baby is cute, Lamau. Again, I'm willing to say it as it is, bro. I'm willing to say it as it is. Like, again, no, not necessarily popular opinion, but I won't lie to you. You can trust that, at least from me. Look at us, Sam. We ended up going past an hour, even. You set your boundary and said no, and you got what you asked for. And we ended up having a lot more life in chat as well. It really was nice to spend this time with you, friends. Let me know. Here is today's piece of art with big black hearts. I mean, they're not that big, I guess, technically. And then I will read to you. Axel Maglias. This poem is called The Comfort Zone is Dangerous. You ever thought about that? The comfort zone is in fact dangerous. Bro, every time I step outside to fumigate, you want to leave. Sam, technically I've hit my 1 hour mark, you know. It's like 1 hour, 11 minutes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 seconds, right? That's some synchronicities. Guess you'll have to get a Dynavap, Sam, so you can vape inside and not leave. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sam. I just suddenly scorched earth. Ah! My face burning. Ah! Oh, Kristen just commented something. Oh, on that flower. Really lovely flower. And I totally agree if the comfort zone is dangerous, but it's so comfy. I love you, Kristen friend. I'm literally reading this poem on stream right now. I appreciate being in this comfy zone with you. Your love is always felt. Yeah. So either gonna stay, let me continue to peer pressure you, or you're gonna tell me to fuck off. Little by little. Like again, right? Like I would never advocate for the peer pressures. Like, yeah, come on, try some cocaine with me. Right, never. But when it comes to stuff that I really like, people that do coke really like cocaine. Like, please. Oh, give me some mercy, please. I swear we have something biologically ingrained to get easily attached to babies, even if they aren't ours. Makes sense, so we will be predisposed to protect them, even small animals we find cute. Yep, that's literally true. Like it's like the children, the babies of creatures, literally, evolutionarily, have to be cute in order to have a higher chance of survival. And again, the babies that were cute over time ended up surviving more often than the babies that weren't cute over time, right? So quite literally, you're not far off, Hames. The comfort zone is dangerous. Comfort zones are paper walls, crayon squares pretending to be rooms. Push and they ripple like puddles, colors dripping, floors breathing, doors bending into spirals of laughter. Step out, suddenly gravity forgets your name, and you are a kite in the sky of liquid music. Shapes wink, time hiccups. Your own heartbeat throws a party in your chest. The unknown is in danger. It's a carnival of maybe, a kaleidoscope dare that whispers, play, stretch, melt, begin again. And when you spill back into ordinary hours, your comfort zone waits, but softer now. Its edges humming with galaxies that followed you home. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me at my home today, for entering this space, and for choosing to show up lovingly. Your presence is appreciated more than I can say. It is a pleasure to spend these moments with you, friends. I'll say goodbye for today, promising you again that I'll be here tomorrow. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I'll see you again real soon. All right? I'm going to see if another message is going to come through. Sometimes people will type 5, 4, 3, twos, and one. I love you, friends. Hey, there it is. Bye then. Damn. Sam, don't make me feel bad, yo. Jeez. Jeez, I'll do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. We get to connect. We get to go kiss. Intergalactically, right? Our souls dancing in this collective space together. And if you really want to spend some more time with me, you won't believe, but I have 1,700 plus live streams in the ether. I don't know if you've been there for all of them, but you could put one up in the background. I'll be there for you too, friend. I love you. Again, I'll see you soon, friends. Cheers for today. Peace.